Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday afternoon, episode 6, season 2, March 13th, 2023 of the Bob Randall and Company live preview show. What a crazy week and last weekend we have had. Gosh, guys, before we go any further, let's bring in and say hello to my co host, Mr. Randall Santa Checker Lee.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy spring, everybody. It's the first day of spring. Woohoo!
I started to
In
say
some
Santa
areas.
Checker Lee, and
Still
I
cold
had
up
to get
here.
to Randy in there.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Well, yeah, as I mentioned, it's been a crazy week. I guess everybody at this point has heard about what happened to Spangle, and it's unfortunate. He's got a hard road ahead trying to make up for what he's lost. But if it wasn't for bad luck, wouldn't have any luck at all. Is a perfect saying for poor Spangle. But today here in Dallas, it's overcast, cool, mid 50s. Chance for rain for next on and off for next couple of 3 days. So, how's the weather where you're at, Randy?
Actually, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty sunny. It's partly sunny, but we're started out at 26 this morning, so it wasn't quite spring-like this morning, but it did get up to almost 48. So I think spring's just around the corner until we get the Michigan weather and it slaps us with another snowfall or ice storm. So, but today's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. We always have that little Easter blast that seems to be that last stronghold of Mother Nature trying to tell us that winter was hard to go away and spring is hard to come in. But yeah, that's coming up soon. Hopefully, that's the last one. We get out of here and get into spring and enjoy some nice weather. It's been a crazy winter across the whole United States, really. But anyway, I'm going to move along. We've got a lot to cover today. And before I get a bunch of private messages, which I have been getting, I mentioned that I bought a new laptop back before the season started. And I have, for some reason, really been having trouble with my Logitech C922 camera. And I go in my settings for my Logitech is actually in OBS. That's the way I set it up. That's the way my old laptop was. I can go in there and make my settings and come over to StreamYard and I lose my settings. And my camera has been washed out for the last, what, six weeks at least, I guess, since I've got this computer. And I kept messing with it today. I've done over and over and over, tried everything I know to try. Can't seem to get it to work outright. Today I am on my new laptop built-in camera, so yes, the settings aren't right there either, but they're definitely better than what my Logitech was doing. I'm going to reach out to a couple of people this week. Greg Swick, for one, he's a kind of a guru when it comes to cameras, and see if he can help me get it straightened out. Okay, Randy, are you ready to go ahead and let's move along to something burger? Like I said, we've got a lot to cover today, so
Yeah, yeah, sure. Let's
let's
do it
go on
up.
to that big
I'm
burger.
hungry. I had an early breakfast. I'm ready for lunch.
All right, let's see. Yeah, it's gone now, right? Okay. My producer said my microphone was showing in my screen because my camera angle is a little bit different on the laptop than it was with my C922. All right, so this is something burger. This is our hot topic. We always bring you two topics each week. And Randy always goes first. So, Randy, go ahead and pose your question to the audience. This is where we want you guys to give us your answers. Tell us how you handle a certain situation or what you think about something that we're talking about here, and go.
Yeah, great. So great to see everybody again today. Moesha and Charlie, Bart. Oh my goodness, me and everybody. Rex, we got Santa Kevin. We got a great list of people already. But if you can do from a list from 1 to 5, it's kind of just a listing from 1 to 5. What do you feel are the top five attributes that Santa or Mrs. Claus should have? Just if you can put them in the comments. Just one word. Let's say kindness or happiness or jolly or whatever it is. Can you just list your top five that you think Santa or Mrs. Claus, top five attributes that Santa and Mrs. Claus should have? just kind of curious what if we are. I'm sure we're all on the same page on this, but I'm just curious. I'd like to see if you can just type in your top five, and they're just single words. What each one are. Like mine is. I did a quick one. Like one is kindness. I think it's a very great attribute. Being jolly. Oh, you got to be jolly. And of course, attribute is you got to listen. Got to listen. And of course, that positive attitude all the time. And of course caring. So those are just some hints of about my top five attributes that Santa Mrs. Claus should have. But if you guys could type in, would be love to see your comments about from Rex and Charlie and Kevin, Moesha, and all the everybody. Let us know what you think. And of course, Bob's got a great list. He's probably got 700 of them, and as long as he's been doing, he's got about top things that we should do. But
Well, while they're working on that, I apologize. We are frazzled today, working, trying to get this camera straightened out. I pulled up last week's script. So today is episode 7, March 20th. And I am so sorry for that, guys. I've got it straightened out. I just pulled it up while Randy was talking, so we're good to go now. But hey,
I was looking like, wait a minute, what is he reading there?
it was last week's script. I go ahead and pull it up on my screen, of course, to look at. And it's not really a script; it's more of an outline for Monday. And hey, I was ready to run off the top of it and thought I was doing good, but turns out I wasn't. So anyway, episode 7, season 2, March 20th, and that was the only thing that changed. All right.
Oh, that sounds good. We're getting some great answers. Of course, Rex Ray says somebody says Facebook listener user from me, it says heart of gold. Perfect. Definitely have to have that heart of gold. Being genuine, Rex Ray, definitely. You can't be fake. You can't be phony. Wonderful, wonderful answer. Compassion, another Facebook user. Because if you don't have compassion for the child or listen, again, you're not listening. You're not being Santa's kindness.
Okay, so it was Santa Scott up in Oklahoma City, Scott Seriton, Heart of Gold, and that's Kathy Pick with the compassion.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that's great. Of course, Jolly. Yes, of course. Nathan. Hello, Nathan. How you doing? We got smile, love, without a doubt. Because if we don't love what we do, it's not going to work. Kindness, listening. Oh, cool one. Nurturing. What a great word. What a great word. Man, incredible. Good natured. Fantastic answers. Fantastic. And that's what makes Santa Mrs. Claus exactly everything you guys are in. It doesn't have to be a big sentence. It doesn't have to be a big paragraph. These short little things for you to think about what make Santa Mrs. Claus so much better. So much better. Smile.
Go ahead.
Rex Ray also says smile even in your eyes, and that's a lot of Santas can smile, but they don't show it. They don't show it in their face, and that's Rex is saying.
Their eyes too.
Smile with your eyes, your eyebrows, your facial expression, and that's a great one.
And what I started to say, Randy, was Nathan must have been reading my mind because my Santa's flight checklist today is pretty much what he just said in conjunction with what I'm going to be saying down there. So fantastic. Perfect. Fantastic.
And Moesha, appreciable. Hope I read that right. Empathetic. Wow, what a cool word. It is very true. Empathetic.
Approachable.
Wonderful thing to be. Approachable. Thank you very much. Sorry. Caring, good listener, perfect.
Yes, smiling with the eyes was brought up. Again, I'm having a look over here to the side to see who these comments are coming from. That's from Michael Brewer. Hey, Michael. Herbie.
Hey, Herbie. Scott Parker has a good one, too. Tolerant of the parents. Very, very good one. That's definitely on the list of being tolerant of the parents because, man, those children are lovable, but sometimes those parents, you just want to tell them. That's a good one. Yeah. Yes.
Rex, I think, has the best deal. Remember, I believe it was Rex that had brought up that he goes into a room, and the family in his photo sessions, the family has to stay outside looking through a window. I believe it was Rex that mentioned that. Very good. Very good. All right, grandfather, that's correct. If you treat, and this was something that my aunt told me when she and I and the family was talking about me transitioning into becoming a Santa, that was the first thing her advice was: if you treat every child like you treat your grandchildren, or in my case, I have one, my granddaughter, then you will be a success. And that's really true. I
That's
mean, you
true.
got to love all the children like they're your own kin and treat them, just like you would your own grandkids.
Wonderful. I mean, just some great, and we know you guys all practice all those things. I mean, it just because that's what makes everybody here a far better, like far better performer and far better Santa and Mrs. Claus. Just,
Uh-huh.
and I
For
see
sure.
gentle is a good one. I says Facebook user on my thing, but gentle is a, because that can, I mean, really, we can scare the children away because of our size and look and the hair and everything. So just be gentle and like Moisha said, approachable. That's good. Very good.
Yeah.
Wow. Ken.
The gentle comment comes from James Papa Wilson. Hello, Papa. How are you, man? And I want to say hello to Ron Lamb. He's joining us this afternoon a little bit earlier than normal. Ron's been busy too. He's another one that's been awful busy for the off season.
Beautiful.
All right, let's see here. You ready to move along to the next one here, Randy? I think we
Yeah, great. Thank you
got some
guys.
got some
Great.
good interaction there. Love that. And this one comes because I mentioned a couple of times on the show that my daughter, our producer, is taking on being the set manager at the mall where I have performed the last 10 years. And she's worked 2 seasons as an associate. This year, she's taken over as set manager. And uh, this is just a question I want to pose to everyone. Have you ever been the Easter bunny or thought of putting on the bunny suit? And if so, what was the biggest challenges you had or would have if you thought you were going to do it before going into it in the suit? The biggest challenge you would have if you have performed, tell us what that biggest challenges was. If you plan on or had thought about doing it, maybe the challenges is why you decided not to do it. Throw those in there for us, guys, and let's talk about that for a minute. Not talking, that's the number one thing. You can't talk. It's all hand motions, body motions. Yeah, exactly. Bigger than life movement without scaring the children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who put that up going to the restroom?
6 foot 275 Sue. And that's part of it. I would
Scott.
I thought about doing it years ago too, but just really wouldn't fit into be like being the world's biggest elf. You know, when you're 400 pounds, you'd be the world's biggest elf. It's like saying I'm out of the suit. So I would it fit now, but that was probably my deterrent for many years.
Well, I've been asked to be the fill-in bunny for them this year. The our district manager for this region, and Angela was having trouble. They had an hour each day where they wasn't able to fill it. They got a morning bunny, afternoon bunny, but there's an hour open there. The Easter set doesn't get a lunch like Santa does, so I told them if they couldn't find anybody else, I might try to do it, and that's why I posed this question to see what others thought about what would be the hardest challenges or the biggest challenges. So I've always thought about doing it, and I almost became a mascot for a top racing series that was here in the Southwest, and we talked all the way down to the series buying the suit. They were going to buy one of the big spongy heads and wear a Western outfit. It was going to be a Western character, and at the last minute, the gentleman that I've known forever owned the racing series got an offer from another group of people who wanted to buy the series, and they bought it, and so it never went forth from there. I was all geared up for it though. I was ready.
I see some of the comments. It would be get all wound up for it. It'd be kind of fun to get all, but like I kind of agree with some of the people there. It might be a little hot. I did play Shrek at a couple things with the Shrek head and all that. So that I can see being a little bit could be a deterrent. But I guess if you're sitting there like when I had to play Shrek, you had to walk and dance around. At least as the Easter Bunny, you get to sit there and hopefully they have a fan on you. It might help that a little bit. I,
Yeah, if I go, I'm going to demand a fan. And for me, I'm not much at setting, even as Santa. If I don't have a child there in the chair with me, I'm up, moving around,
uh,
talking, walking from rail to rail. So for me, setting's not so much, but I'll tell you, my biggest problem, even as Santa with full suit on, is dehydration. I can hydrate, but as I've gotten older, the harder it is to keep
Mm.
from cramping up or just flat, getting dehydrated and paying for it 2 or 3 days later. And for me, that's my biggest fear is overheating in the suit. But maybe I can hold out for an hour if they don't try to trick me into staying longer.
Once you're in the suit, you're there.
That's correct.
Yes,
All right, I think we got some great answers here.
great answers.
Ben Bellhorn says hi, Angela. Oh, Bob and Randy. Angela just walked out the back door. So today, for the rest of the afternoon, we have my wife, Mrs. Claus, Christmas Claus over here, working the board for us. So be patient. We're gonna try to make our way through this. Angela's only going to be out a couple of weeks doing the Easter Bunny set, so wife has decided to step in and try to help us run the show, and we greatly appreciate it because we cannot do this without a producer and someone over there feeding everything to us. So, all right, Mrs. Claus, are you ready to play the Santa's Closet voice commercial?
Yes.
All right, here we go, Randy.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Santa's Closet is under new ownership. Let's welcome Santa Wade and Scarlett Kaufman of Tennessee, whom will continue the tradition of bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Don't forget to visit their sites at santascloset.org and support their efforts of bringing quality products to the community. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, Randy, before we get into the question real quick, Ben Bellhorn says he just ordered buttons for his new vest and they ship super quick. Thank you, Wade. That's fantastic. And I didn't mention at the top of the show, but we are for the first time Bob, Randall, and Company live on YouTube today. We're simulcasting just like we did Tuesday night to both platforms. Fantastic.
It was fun watching the last Tuesday night live on that. I had that big screen TV, the 60-incher in there, boy sitting back, and I watched it last Tuesday night on the big screen. It was fun.
That's almost too much of us.
Especially Spangle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and well, we found out too that even though uh, YouTube is blending their comments in, they're not coming in as quick as Facebook. I don't know why. I thought that they would come in at the same pace, but we are getting them a little bit slower. But it seems to be working really good. We're really happy with the progress, and I got to tell you, man, after Gina was on last week, we had more hits on YouTube than we've ever had, or more watching on YouTube than we've ever had by 600%. I mean, it was crazy. But see, YouTube is pushing us out there as a live broadcast, and so instead of being our small target audience of clauses, it was putting it out there for a whole lot of other people to see, and people was clicking and at least staying on long enough for it to count as a view. Not real sure. YouTube has a little bit different criteria for how long you have to watch before it actually adds into the counter, which is longer, which is good. That means they were there for at least that long. Okay, Randy, let's go ahead and get into the trivia question. SantaCloset.org, Wade and Scarlett, thank you so much. And Randy, go.
Really, thank you so much, guys. The question for today is Gatlinburg, Tennessee was first named blank, blank, blank. And in the early 1800s, what family was the first permanent hopefully I can say this, white settlers in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Now we need the town, the very first name, and who that family was. So again, Gatlinburg, Tennessee was first named blank, and in the early 1800s, what was the first permanent family, the white settlers that were there? Again, we need the town, the very first name, and of course, their name. So I guess that's the same thing. Their name and first name is always the same. But we need the town's very first name, and of course the settlers.
That's correct.
Because of course
and
there's
when you say
going on Gatlinburg.
when you say you wasn't sure if you could say white settlers, Native Americans had inhibited all of the southeast Tennessee, in that area, and so that's the way it was written, and that's the way I put it in. That way it clarifies, because there was some, and this is permanent white settlers, because there was other explorers that had been in that region, hunters, but they were the first one to actually set up a cabin and settle that region. And I'll tell you right now, it even went on to say that there's still descendants in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge of that family. So
That's quite a while ago, back to the 1800s. But but of course we all know it's coming up at Gatlinburg real soon.
Started
So
in the late 1700s, but they the way it was posed was 1800s, the family. So anyway, just trying to clarify that a little bit.
Cool.
Looks like we got some good answers coming in.
Some answers coming in.
Yes, we do. Well, very, 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 very good. All right. Well, you guys go ahead and work on that for just a little bit longer. We're going to go ahead and do our exit video right here, and we'll be right back. All right, this just into the studio, hot off the wires, Elfin. Chatterbox News is reporting at this hour. We're going to go over to Randy and let Randy talk about the first subject. We covered this last week, but I think it's important to cover it multiple times as we lead up to these events, because this is something that benefits the whole community. And hey, we have different viewers from week to week.
Well, very good. Well, what we're talking about is MAPS. Michigan Association of Professional Santas is having a weekend. It's called the Jingle Joy Retreat Weekend, June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now, it's kind of split up into two events, what's going on. You get 2 for 1. June 1st and 2nd will be with Santa True is going to do a class, the Christmas Performers Workshop. It's a very entertainers, performers type class. You won't really learn the history of Santa. You won't probably sing Christmas carols. Very performance based. He will be there on Santa True will be there 1st and the 2nd. There's special deals going on through MAPS. You don't have to be a MAPS member, a Michigan Association of Professional Santas member, to come to it. It's in a city called Rothbury, Michigan, which is right along the Lake Michigan, halfway between Traverse City and Chicago. Is basically where it is. A beautiful, beautiful place out there. Again, that's June 1st and 2nd. Then connected to that, that's Thursday and Friday. Starting that Friday night on the 2nd, we have what we call as a Jingle Joy Retreat. Just to get away for Santas and Mrs. Claus to get away. And that's free. Yep, get away for free. There's no cost for coming. I mean, besides stay for the hotel and food, of course. But it's just a day that you can play golf. Of course, you can ride horses, and they got an indoor pool with a water slide and that lazy river and all that kind of fun stuff. It's a beautiful place out in. So it's actually, you can do 2 events for the weekend. You can do a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's called a Jingle Joy Retreat. It's put on by MAPS. Again, you don't have to be a member of MAPS to join, but we'd love to have you become a member of MAPS, of course, because we are better together. So the more we have, the the better it is. But that is the Christmas Performers Workshop is the first and second. Again, there's special pricing going on till the end of this month. Then pricing has to go up the end of March. So you've got a couple weeks yet before you get the elf special, and then boom, it's going to go up a little bit. Same with the hotel is got until the end of next month to get hotel rates. But cool about they've got cabins. I'm sharing a cabin with a couple Santas. We've got a nice little, it looks like an A-frame. It's really a cool place. Campers. So it's just getting away and spending a lot of fellowship and time that Saturday and Sunday. We're going to watch movies at the campgrounds. We're going to have a talent show. I mean, we're going to have crafts and everything on that Saturday. So tons of things to do. And the best thing is fellowship with your brothers and sisters in red. So that's first January and 2nd. June. June 1st and 2nd for the Christmas Performers Workshop. And then really the 3rd and the 4th for the Jingle Joy retreat. But put them all together. Get away. Have a great time and join us. Wow. I rattled that off quick. But go to the MAPS website and it's all explained there. It'd be easier probably. Either that or just replay this again when you watch YouTube again. You can listen to it all over again.
Also, make sure to go to the church service on Sunday at the Jingle Ring. Melissa Lynn, I guess she's going to be doing the service, yes. And so she wants to remind us of that. Bart wants to know what's the closest hotel or hotel hosting the event. Do you know that, Randy?
There's actually the hotel right there on the property. It's called the J&J Resort is what it is. That's why we named it Jingle Joy, because it's called J&J Ranch or Resort. So it's not named Jingle Joy, but since it is called J&J Resort, as MAPS, we just took the J&J and made it Jingle Joy. But they have a hotel there. They have cabins. They have, if you're a camper, they have campgrounds. So right there on property where we're having the classes and we're all getting together, where the golf course is, where the horseback riding is, where everything is, it's all on the property. So other than that, if you don't do that, it's probably about a half hour away for the closest hotel. I'll let you know.
Great information. Another comment we have here is, hope you're hanging in there, Mom. That's from Elf Angela, our daughter. She's out. She left to go to the run a couple of errands for the Santa set, and so she threw her 2 cents in there. And yes, Greg, I don't know if you caught the very beginning of the show or not, but I am on my laptop, my newest laptop that I just purchased just 6 weeks ago. Camera today because I'm still having trouble with my C922. And if you've got a moment sometimes here in the next day or two, I'd like to get with you and see if you can help me figure out what I'm doing wrong. Everything was great on my own laptop, but once I switched to this new one, my C922 is not keeping the settings. I can set my settings, but as soon as I leave it in OBS to go over to my StreamYard, it goes back to default settings, and it's terrible. All right, let's see. No, Spangle did not find his truck. I assume, and of course it's just an assumption, but it being a highly sought after older year model and as clean as it was, I'm sure they've done chopped that thing up within 28 to 48 hours. It was in pieces, which is a real shame. And the truck he can get over because he does have insurance that will cover a portion of the truck. It was the contents that hurt the most. Just to let everyone know, he lost about $100,000 in the deal, counting the truck. So a big hit on Spangle. Lone Star Santas were wonderful this weekend at the roundup here in Texas and Dallas, Plano. They catered to him. They passed the hat around and helped collect a small portion of money for him. They encouraged everyone to shop Spangle, and everyone did. Everyone was really nice, and just keep your eye out for Spangle's truck. It may still be out there, but I highly doubt it. All right, let's go on to the next segment here in the Elf and Chatterbox News. I'm going to cover this one real quick. Santa Family Reunion is coming up Saturday, April 15th through Thursday, April 20th. I know many of you have already plans to go. You're going to be there in person. They're expecting, on their website, they say they are expecting about 1,200 people this year. Now, if that is true, that will be the largest Santa gathering ever. And that would be pretty remarkable with the economy the way it is. I hope it does happen. That would be wonderful for our community. Now, while you're there, if you are there, or if you're not, you can still tune in and catch the recorded version or maybe even the live version of the reindeer games. Now, the reindeer games are going to be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. that Tuesday of the week-long event. It's at the Mills Auditorium, and of course, it'll be featuring Mitchell Allen and Michael Howell cracking eggs over their heads. If you've never seen the reindeer games, absolutely one of the funniest things you'll ever watch. And of course, those in the gallery and those helping. Charlie Johnson's going to be helping out with a lot of the sound equipment and stuff that he's doing. And I say we, here at the Tuesday Night Live, Bob and Randall uh, are working on some really cool stuff. If we can make it happen, if we get all the logistics put together, we are, because we haven't made any plans, but we're trying to make our way out there and do some live broadcasts from the weekend. We'll see if that pans out or not.
And don't
Scott
forget,
Saraton behind the scenes is kind of the event planner for us. Has been for a long time. He's helped me with my some of my classes, and he's really good at that. And he's working on some logistics there.
and all the
Right?
money that's done for that for the reindeer games goes it goes to benefits, goes to children. So it is for a great cause to watch. I think Herbie probably will be the Michael Bauer will probably be the MC again too, that he was
Yes,
last
I
year.
think so.
And but the best thing is the money that's brought in goes to charity, and that's what is fantastic. It will go to children. Besides, you're gonna laugh you know what off.
It's hilarious.
It's funny, but it's for an extremely good cause. Not just to have fun and watch and laugh. It is goes to a good cause. So
Yes, it does. And for those who don't may not know the format of the whole thing is they have eggs. Some are hard boiled, some are raw, and of course each egg that uh, I guess gets busted. Is it the raw ones that draw the biggest money? Yes, on the
it
forehead,
right
and
on the
yeah.
forehead.
Anyway, it's really fun and funny and entertaining. Like Randy said, it'll make you laugh till your side is sore for a week. I know mine was. Okay, so anyway, just look for us in the upcoming week or so, trying to get this logistics worked out on our end over here, and see if we can get out there and cover some of this stuff and help covering the reindeer games as well as Gatlinburg. All right, the next thing on the list is School of Santa's, 2 weekends to choose from, July 13th through 16th and July 20th through 23rd. That's in Branson, Missouri, where entertainment and fun meet, education and fun meet, whatever the slogan is. I don't even know. I can't keep up with it. Anyway, that's Spangle the Clown. If you haven't signed up for that, go over and check that out. That'd be another great learning opportunity. Ed Taylor is the keynote speaker this year, along with a whole host of folks. Larry Talbot on insurance, Jessica Rosa on photography. Uh, got some really cool stuff working there too. All right, let's move along to preview our Tuesday Night Live upcoming guests and shows. I'm going to let Randy take this segment.
Wow. Of course, Tuesday night live. Don't miss. Come on, Tuesday night. What a deal! Every Tuesday night. Again, I'm going to say that favorite F word. Free, guys. It's free. Tuesday night live. You get to learn, listen, and have a great time, laugh, and everything else on Tuesday night live for all our guests. And tomorrow night is March 21st. Already March 21st. It's crazy. Is Lauren Jensen. Lauren Jensen is a Michigan Santa. He's a member of Michigan Association of Professional Santas, but he has built his own Santa shed, like I've been saying. Uh, he will tell you all about the size, how he markets it, what he puts in it that he's found year after year that would help you. Maybe if you want to do it. I think it's a cool idea to make a Santa shed, and then you can run your own hours. You can run your own business that way. They come to you instead of you going to them. What a cool deal! You've got your own place. Everybody comes to you unless he parks it in some place for the day. But I mean, that's for a whole day. So that's Lauren Jensen tomorrow, March 21st. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Really, really interesting. Lauren's been to so many different schools too. I know he'll promote doing schools too. What a great job that he's in his experience that was. He's a great Santa. So that's tomorrow. Then the 28th is Charlie Johnson, good old Charlie. up in northern Michigan. He is going to tell you about maps. He's going to tell you about his years in Santa. I think you'll just be enthralled by what Charlie has done. And you just want to sit back and listen to the guy. He's got that somebody said grandfatherly, most Santas do, but he's got that voice that'll do it too, just very, very good. Charlie, like I said, he helps out a lot at the different conventions, music things and everything like that. So, and again, I have to say it again. I hope Charlie shows his commercials. Sorry, I love him, Charlie. I can't help it. So that's the March 28th. April 4th. Yep, April 4th, we have a new Santa. A couple years. Ben Bellhorn. Yep, Ben's going to be here. He's going to talk about what he's experienced in the first few years of Santa, which is just priceless for everybody, because we know something new happens all the time, and new Santas also have new eyes to see what's going on. Even though Ben has been to a lot of schools and really, really, really done a lot of that basic education, he's also fresh eyes, and also what he's done for Ohio Santas. He's done a great job really, really uplifting that and getting that area going. So don't miss that. April 4th is Ben Bellhorn. You'll really be great. He looks good too. He's just a great guy. So don't miss Ben. Then on April 11th is Jeff McMullen. Jeff McMullen. How can we, again, he's the kind of guy that's got a resume that goes on and on and on and on and on. 30 years of Ringling Brothers Clown, just the experience of being an entertainer that way just blows me away. And his soft-spoken spiritual side is really can take. I mean, I remember watching him in Denver and just, I want to listen to you all day. He's got a great voice, and he of course knows the business. Of course, he's got his own school, the Kringle University, I think it's what it's called. And same thing, he has a shed too, which Lauren and them were kind of working on together, and I'm sure they'll both talk about that. But he's in Wisconsin. But don't miss Jeff McMullen. Spectacular performer, spectacular Santa, spectacular gentleman. Then we go to already the 18th of April, Jamie Dozer, Cotton State Santa. He's again a very, very, very long, very professional Santa. Very really, you'll be mesmerized by some of his stories and his ideas about he performs. It will be. We know every time when we listen to somebody like that, we're going to learn something. So don't miss Jamie Dozer, because you are going to learn something extremely because what he's done will be very cool to listen to. Now I think it's the one that he does a lot when it comes to home visits too. Is that right, Bob?
Yeah, Jamie has been a professional Santa now for a number of years. He first attended our Tuscumbia, Alabama school we had, I think, 3-4 years ago. He also came to Dixon, Tennessee the following year, the class we had over there. So he's a 2-time graduate of Sat Bob's. And he was also the one that helped put together Santa True's class Christmas performance workshops over there in Alabama just, 3 weeks ago?
So that's why, I mean, don't miss Jamie Dozer then on the 18th of April. So again, don't miss any of them, because we're going to learn something every week. And remember, It's that favorite F word, free. There's no membership here, guys. There's just free. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Then we got a little, we've got some entertainers coming in between there, but I'm going to jump all the way up to May. May 16th is David Sanders. He is a firefighter that was there at 9/11. He's a Santa, a professional Santa. He's an actor. The stories he's going to probably tear out of your heart just talking about, if he brings up, and I'm sure he will, 9/11. Being a firefighter there will just be heartwarming, heartbreaking, all in one. But he's put it all together as an actor, as a Santa, and everything else. So that's May 16th. We've got, like I said, a few weeks in between there. We will update you on those guests for the few weeks in between. But oh my goodness, the list already is just you can't miss. I mean, you've got Google, you've got streaming, you've got Facebook. Don't miss. You can watch it on that 70-inch screen TV. Well, maybe not that big. That is kind of scary. You're right. That is kind of scary. But yeah, don't miss them. I mean, it is Bob and Scott and Spangle and Angela and everybody has worked so hard all these years to put together a great Tuesday Night Live and line up for everybody to enjoy. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Thank you guys. Don't miss it.
And Randy gets credit too because he's been helping me, even though he's part of the Monday show. He's still part of the family. Been helping me line up guests. We do have some other guests in between Jamie and Dave that I've talked to. We just haven't got the exact confirmation on the exact date, so we'll wait till we get those penciled in to actually mention those. Something that Scott Seriton brought up that I think is a very important to kind of mention. If you guys are out and about, and I know that Spangle's truck come up missing here in the DFW area, and especially for our local Santas and Mrs. Clauses and those in the industry, but even outside of that, I mean, sometimes these thieves takes these things on to other cities to try to move it because they know they're hot in that city. Keep your eyes open for the Santa items at flea markets and even on Facebook Market place. There has been times where someone sees something, mentions something, and it turns out to be a good lead. So if you can help Spangle out at all, just keep your eyes open. Of course, he lost a lot of stuff from Heidi that's going to be professional Santa suits and some Mrs. Claus items, along with a lot of other things. But those will be the main thing that will stand out. If you see those at a flea market, try to get a little more information without being conspicuous, and call the authorities immediately. Let's see if we can help Spangle find some of the stuff. Uh, Scott says there is a possibility that TNL Productions may be there. Yes, we talked about that, Scott. The reindeer games are hilarious. This is Charlie Johnson, and a great fundraiser for the Smoky Mountain Children's Home. That's going to be the beneficiary, the Smoky Mountain Children's Home. That's where the charity. Let's see what else we got here. Harry Woodbury says our first Santa reunion in April. Mrs. Claus and myself will be there supporting South Carolina Palmetto Santas. That's great, fantastic. Scott Seriton also mentions that Spangle's second week in Branson is booking up. So if you're interested in going to that, be sure and get in touch with Tanya Lay and get your reservations. See what else we got. We got so many comments coming in here. Hello, Scott Martin, up in Honey Grove, Texas. Bart Gaffney says he signed up for the Kringle U class, Jeff McMullen's class. Fantastic. Love supporting Jeff. Mrs. Claus, Scott says you're doing a good job. You look so serious. I don't know where he got that at. He can't see you. Bart, we have had John on last year, and what was last year? We had John Shuey on. I think it was. We have had John on, and he is a great guest, and he is someone that is on our short list, and he's really busy this year since coming on our show and doing a couple of other things. There's lots of folks reaching out trying to get John to do his presentation, so we'll see what we can get there. All right, man. I think that pretty much covers everything. We want to thank everyone for hanging through that segment. It's kind of long, but let's go on and give out the trivia answers here. Gatlinburg, Tennessee's first name was actually White Oak Flats, Flats, and that was because the region is covered in white oak trees. And as the story goes, from what I remember reading yesterday, a gentleman came to town a number of years later named Gatlin and set up a merchandise store. And the post office was actually installed inside of that merchandise store. And so folks just started calling it Gatlinburg, and the name stuck, and finally officially became the name of the town. So White Oak Flats was the name we were looking for there. And the first, Gatlinburg's first permanent white settlers was the Martha Jane Husky. Husky was her name before she was married, and she was a widow. Her last name was Ogle, Ogle, and family. She took her 2 children, her brother, and a whole host of other family members, and moved to that region because her husband William had went down there before and done some hunting and started clearing out some trees to build a cabin, kind of like a hunter's cabin, and had stacked up a lot of trees before he passed away that were ready. And so they went down there because that was his wish that the family moved. Went down there and they immediately went to town with the logs that had already been prepared and built their first cabin there, becoming the first permanent settlers. Martha Jane Husky, Ogle, and family. Now, I'm not real sure if Mrs. Carroll over here has had a chance to find our winner because she's been busy trying to keep up with everything. And did you get a chance?
Well, Melissa Lynn, had hers in like 2 parts. But let me go back to it. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Just to make sure you want to accept it real quick.
All right. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll back real quick. If everyone be patient with me for just a minute. Randy, if you want to chat for a second, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna look and see who the because we want to make sure we get the right person that put the right answer in first. So, but yes, it's kind of crazy to think way back then, and now it's turned into Gatlinburg, and of course I mean, think about 1,200 Santas and Mrs. Clauses there. That's a huge event. I I I mean, it's going to definitely take. I don't know how many hotels it's going to take for that many people at Gatlinburg, but man, talk about an event, something to remember. So I wish I could go. I really do. But don't forget that'll be in the middle of April already. And we talked about School of Santa's coming up. 2 weeks in a row. And of course, Spangled he pulls out all the stops when it comes to the school. Not just learning. I mean the when you pay your dues, when you pay your entrance thing, it takes care of all your meals with your breakfast, and you get that at the hotel anyway. So it even includes your meals and a couple of shows. We think this year you've got an Elvis and there's another impersonator going to be there. So it's nothing but fun entertainment for you personally to go and kind of get away. But besides fellowship with other Santas and Mrs. Clauses, and of course, learning. You've got Ed Taylor both weeks. And I know there's some Santas and Mrs. Clauses that are going to both weeks. What a way to get away for a couple of weeks, especially down in Branson. It's a beautiful area down there that time of year. It really is. It's gorgeous.
So what we're going to do right here is we're going to go ahead and move along. Elf Angela just walked in or is walking in just a moment. And her and Mrs. Claus will figure out who the true winner was. Again, just be patient with us on this and we'll get you an answer before we go away. Don't let me forget, Randy. Okay. Let's see. You know what's next? That magical moment. Mrs. Claus, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Magical Moments. I got to first say again, happy spring to everybody. And again, remember, it's only 279 days till Christmas. 279 days. And 229 days to my first Santa booking. So it's getting around the corner. So that'll be here soon. But let's move on. I just want to talk about last couple of weeks. I showed you a little bit of magic, and we talk about how magical Santa is. But I just want you guys, everybody here, to sit back for a moment and just think back when you were a child. Just think back when you were young and thought, and for the first time you saw Santa. I mean, think about how that felt. It even, I mean, just think how you felt when you heard his first ho, ho, ho. And you got that little giggle and you got that little smile on your face because, I mean, that was like, oh, that's Santa there. I can hear his voice. That right there even is magical. It doesn't have to be a prop like I've showed you guys the last 2 weeks. How many times is it like you hear that bell? Oh, you hear those bells and you get all giddy and excited. I mean, that also brings that magical moment, that magical feeling that Santa's there. So it doesn't have to be props like I've showed you. It can be things like that. that's that. And as a child, man, everything, especially a young child, almost everything can be magical. Everything can be like just like especially the character. Now, of course, we all know that some people are a little apprehensive of Santa, but that's okay. But you can take it, just those quiet things. We remember like the bells. You remember the story, Polar Express. I mean, how magical that story is, and how you can take that without getting a magic prop, without learning magic, without learning learn how to play guitar or sing, just learning a story about the Polar Express and the first gift of Christmas is very magical to so many children. Of course, we all know. Oh gosh, just think was the first time that you heard Santa really, really read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Not just read "'Twas the night before." I mean, really got into it. I mean, how did that make you feel? You were just like ecstatic when you were young, when you heard that, when you heard the story. And it's like then every year we can make that story that's heard every year. "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Again, the most magical thing of a home visit. So I just want to make it very. I had a few comments about people who said, "Well, I don't really want to do magic." Well, you don't have to do magic. This is all so magical. This brings out, like I was asking earlier, what Santa needs to do as attributes, and Mrs. Claus too, to gain that aura, that's something that Santa is. And it's just those little things. Like, I mean, how magical is telling a story about the key? Oh, it's just a key on your belt. No, this key lets you into every house that doesn't have a chimney. Just once a year. You can tell them that magical story. It's something special that you don't need to use anything else but what's on there. Or why do you have a reindeer whistle? I got to call my reindeer somehow. There's so many stories that you can do. I mean, you can do props. Like I said, we can do props. Of course, we love, everybody said earlier about you've got to love cookies. Oh, you've got to love cookies, but we don't have cookies. I need everybody to do me a big favor that you're out there. Can you all wiggle your fingers? Everybody wiggle your fingers. Very good. I need you to learn these silly elf words. Wee-oo, woodgy, woodgy. Wee-oo, there's a good. Aren't those silly elf words? Now, I want you to watch because magic can be just about anything. You just take like that and you just say those magic words. Wee-oo, woodgy, woodgy, and of course, make the cookies. Now we can make anything magical, even out of just having I can't eat a cookie. Now, of course, we know the silly things that we say about cookies. Oh, my favorite cookie is the round one, or my favorite one is the one I'm eating. So all those lines make Santa more magical and more like special to those children, just for those few moments. You don't have to make them appear like that. But just remember, there's so many basic things that you can do. To make, and I've showed this a few times. I think this is a fun little toy. This is a novelty thing. This isn't a magic trick. It's a novelty thing. You get a whole line of children up and you ask if you've been good girls and boys, and they hold it, and of course it doesn't connect, but then you get somebody else and it makes, and you can do a whole story. When it flashes, that means you've been good. So there's so many things that can take you one step further and show that magic side or that special side of Santa instead of just sitting there and smiling. And of course, we know, like Greg says, we have to smile and smile with our eyes. We have to have that. But remember, there's those basic things we have that will make a child in awe even more of Santa, that we have on our belts, that we have in our pockets, that we think about all the time. Like I said, think back about how that sounded when you heard those bells. Oh my goodness, it's the bells. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. So just look at it, your character as Santa, as magical, and take those things and look at them as the eye of the child, and how magical they feel those things are. It could be your glasses even that are different, because like Bob's, there's these beautiful silver gold rimmed glasses. They're like so different than a typical pair of glasses. They're unique. And why does Santa have those? Why does he have them on his nose? There's so many stories and special things you can tell the children. So don't leave anything out. And I'm going rambling again, but just it is just amazing, and I'm so blessed and so thankful to be a part of Monday. And Bob and Angela and everybody else, and all you guys joining us. Thank you for letting me talk and everything else about magical moments. We'll see you soon. See you next week, and I'll see you in a minute when you come back. But thanks, guys.
Great segment, Randy. Yeah, anything can be a prop, and every prop has a backstory or a story. And what a great way to open everyone's eyes up with that, Randy. Great job as always. Okay, I don't think there's any other. Ben had requested you do the cookie trick, and I see you did that. So thank you, Ben, for suggesting that. I don't think there's
Should I
anything else.
explain how it's done, or should I?
That's up to you, Randy. If you want to give that away, that's fine.
Well, what it is just go to your local magic store, or I shouldn't say this, eBay. And it's called a chick pan, is what it's called. Type in the words magic trick, and type in, I put the tape on. It's usually all just silver. I just like the red on there. Just type in magic trick and chick pan, and it's a little tiny pan. And I'll show you the thing is of course there's a little thing in the center that, and of course it's empty. When this goes on here, it releases, and now it's not there. It's there now. These are actually real cookies. My wife, when she was around, she actually made real cookies. I actually took them and sprayed them with shellac. So these cookies are about 3-4 years old. But they still look good because they were shellacked, and they're a real cookie. I won't eat them, but I just, the right size fits in there, and it's then of course you can do the old, if you are doing online, you're better than a good old that's hot cocoa. Of course, then there's so many things you can add to it. Just little things. Oh, like taking a sip of hot cocoa. Of course, that's not hot. We know it's fake. But it's part of acting and making that magical and believable for the children.
Chris says, Randy is so much fun to watch and listen to. I totally agree with that, Parker, for sure. And Scott Saracen has asked a question, but I think you've already answered it, Randy. Are you going to Branson?
Don't I wish? Don't I wish?
Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg?
No, I'm going to try to get to the second week since Spangle has time left. Second week, I think that's I'm gonna as long as it doesn't interfere with. I've been very busy this week booking summer deals. I booked another festival for 5 days of balloons. I've booked another 2 days, northern Michigan to Crossroads Village for 2 days of magic. I'm thank goodness I'm going to knock on wood. Going to stay very busy again this summer, doing magic and ballooning and everything else. I'm just very blessed and very thankful for that. I'm very, very, very fortunate.
We're very blessed and thankful that as busy as you are, you still find time to come on the shows and contribute all your knowledge and fun things that you do.
Oh, it's fun.
Okay, so I don't think there's anything else we need to cover there. So if the girls are ready over here, we're going to jump on into Santa's flight checklist. All right, guys, Santa's flight checklist for today. And as I always start out, I like to remind everyone doing your homework up front and making sure you are well prepared at anything you do. Today's Santa's flight checklist, let's talk about kindness. If you look off to the right over there, kindness is one of the words that I've got on my scroll. And kindness is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate, and or a kind act. So what does that mean in the Santa community? There's a few ways to show your kindness every day. Just because we're not dressed as Santa in our dress reds or at a particular gathering where Santas are, we can still show kindness each and every day. Get up in the morning time, and focus on others. Kindness puts others at the center. Always try to give the person or people that's in front of you the attention that they require. Pay attention to them. Be kind. I know many of us, and I have a really bad habit of doing this. Catch ourselves talking over someone because, hey, at my age, if you don't spit it out quick, you forget it. So, you catch yourself trying to talk over others, and that's something that we could probably all work on. Offer a helping hand if you see a elderly person struggling with a shopping cart or coming out of a door and got their hands full and having trouble getting out the door. Help them out. Reach up there and be kind and open that door for them. As I mentioned a moment ago, be there to listen. When folks need an ear, they need an ear. They don't need someone to, again, talk over the top of them or, uh, go off on a story of their own. Listen to what they're trying to tell you because they come to you for a reason, and that's because they want you to listen to what they have to say. Another important part is smile, compliment, and be a positive light. Even your elves need that. I mean, I know. It's a North Pole. We all get frustrated with the elves sometimes, and you want to lash out at them. But just think about the stress that they may be under. Think about how you can make a difference in their life by smiling. Just smile at them. If they're in a bad spot, give them that great big old Santa or Mrs. Claus smile, and it'll brighten their day. I always like to say, build up your fellow man, not tear him down. And there's nobody in this industry that does that better than the gentleman sitting to my right on the screen, Mr. Randall Santa Checker Lee. He is one of the kindest, nicest,
Slow
easiest
down.
guys you will ever meet. Now, stop it, your head's going to swell, but it's okay. It's true. And uh, Randy will be the first one behind anybody's post to come in and say something positive. Love the man.
And I'm just fortunate to be that so many people want to be a part of this, and you can't help but build. I want to build them up because they're building me up. Like I said, we're better together, as Map says, we are better together, and so it makes me feel good. So I got to thank them back. Like I said, I've been very fortunate in my years, people helping me through everything, through hard times, especially last year, and throughout my career. If you don't give back or want to give back, get out. Sorry, that was a little rude. That wasn't as polite as it should be, but it's like, yeah, I mean, we have to. We have to.
It's reality. What you just said is reality, and it's so very true. But anyway, build up your fellow man. Don't tear him down. You can always, in your mind, think what you want to think. You can always speak behind closed doors with your family or close knit folks. As long as it's in confidence. But you know, always put a positive light forward. Be kind in public. Be kind. Ask Santa and Mrs. Claus because you never know who that person is on the other side, what they're going through, what they have experienced, troubled times. You can make a difference in folks' life just by being kind. And that is Santa's flight checklist for today.
Beautiful.
All right, let's see here. We want to go ahead and before we forget, announce our trivia answer winner. And after much debate, F. Angela and Mrs. Claus has come up with a correct answer. Time, date, stamped. Melissa Lynn Santa Mel, you are the winner today. Fantastic job. Now, with all that said, everyone has to remember, yes, these gifts on Monday are coming from Wade and Scarlett up there at santascloset.org. But Tom, before he actually sold the business, had sent me a lot of keys. I've showed the keys before. Show it again, real quick. Really nice. Whoops, down here, different camera. Really nice key. And so Spangle, we ship these straight to Spangle. Spangle is actually the one shipping them out, so it'll be coming from Stuffer Santa in a package that's comes from him. But Tom, Wade, and Scarlett actually sponsored these. But Spangle has been on the road for several weeks now, so I know that he has not had a chance to ship out any other trivia prizes for the last few weeks. So just be patient. He's going to be back home this next week, and he told me then he would get the complete list of winners for not only the Monday show and the Tuesday show, and get all that stuff packaged up and get it out the door. Now, normally he has someone covering at the shop, but he doesn't have anybody there at this moment. There is someone house sitting, but not capable of shipping stuff out. So be patient. We'll get this stuff out to you. Thank you for everyone for joining in today and giving us your 2 cents worth. Every penny is valuable, and thank you for playing along with the trivia each Monday and Tuesday. We absolutely love bringing you the trivia. We love having folks that like Santa's Closet.org, School of Santa's, Stuff for Santa, and Jessica Rosa, of course, is doing 10 shows with us, and Holiday Photo Magic. And glad to have those folks along with us on Monday and Tuesday. All right, we got any questions out there? Anybody have anything they want to talk about, mention? Anything else you want to say, Randy, while we're waiting?
Just some great comments. Again, thank you guys all for showing up today. Don't miss the replay. Of course, don't miss Tuesday nights. Man, that is just priceless, always priceless, free. And I hate to beat an old horse there, but it is. It's free, priceless, free. How can that be? But it is. It's priceless being free. So all I can do is thank you guys. Always stay safe, stay healthy, and again, most of all, stay magical. Thank you guys, Bob, Angela, everybody, Mrs. Claus back there did such a great job the first time this week. Thank you guys again for showing up. We'll see you next Monday. Don't forget Tuesdays.
And yes, absolutely. And these shows, again, something that we thought about for a while, wanted to try to figure out how we were going to make it all come together and work. But as Randy says, we always knew that we would never charge anything for what we're giving out. We are here because, as Randy has mentioned, I have mentioned, we were lucky. We had good mentors. We had folks who were patient, that worked with us, that helped us develop our character, develop our knowledge, and have always been there for us. And that's the key behind both these shows, is to help others. Uh, you know, as they say, I hate to keep beating this dead horse, but we're better together, and that is so true. So, as a group, as a family, as a community, as a group of entertainers, we absolutely love each and every one of you, and thank you so much for your input. Don't forget, tomorrow night, got a fantastic guest. I worked late last night working on the script. The script was a great script, and it's going to be a great show. So you don't want to miss tomorrow night. All about the Santa Shed, excuse me. Fantastic, and it's something that I think, as I mentioned in the opening of the show, is could be the wave of the future. It could be a way for all of us to have that independence that we're looking for. All right, Randy, thanks so much, brother. As always, great show. Thanks, everyone, and see us back here next Monday. And don't forget tomorrow night.
Bye.
Bye.